When you think of Sylvester Stallone, two characters instantly come to mind. Rocky and Rambo, and it's the latter of the two's franchise which I will be reviewing right now. And we have to go all the way back to 1982 to find where his journey started. Growing up, I followed most of Stallone's films, and where Rocky is full of heart and a tremendous franchise on its own, being a huge action nut, I always tended to gravitate towards Rambo being my preferred choice of franchise. I haven't rewatched First Blood in quite some time, so I was really looking forward to it, and despite it being close to near 40 years old, I can tell you now without a shadow of a doubt, it is still that damn good. Stallone deserves a ton of praise for bringing the former United States Special Forces veteran to our screens. John J. Rambo won a Congressional Medal of Honor for his time and service, but upon returning to home soil, he finds his welcoming committee, let's say, not as he imagined. And now, on this current day, he was only passing through the town of Hope after he was looking for a friend. But that was enough for the local sheriff in Brian Dennehy's William Teasle to try and drive him away. Using his position in the law, Will described the reality to Rambo, at least in his morphed mind. People like him, they didn't belong in this small, boring American town. Why doesn't he just move along? Keep on going. So he dropped Rambo off on the other side of town and left him to be on his way. But oh no, that wasn't going to be the case. Agitated after being wrongly targeted by the sheriff, Rambo turned himself right around and went back into the town. He didn't get far, of course, since Will was watching his every move, and after hauling him in under arrest and harassing him in more ways than one, every deputy in that police department soon realised Will had lit a fire in Rambo that none of them would be able to douse. Now, for someone who holds a Congressional Medal of Honor, these cops aren't the smartest of the bunch. Rambo was clearly traumatised from his days at war, and him having flashbacks while being interrogated or nearly shaved eventually pushed him beyond the brink. He'd already been bullied by Will's head deputy Art Galt, a detestable son of a bitch, and after one too many prerogatives being taken, Rambo just completely snapped. You can't blame him. Jack Starlett did a remarkable job with his small role as Art. Within moments you knew he would push the boundaries with Rambo, and even though he ploughed through and took out every single one of those deputies like they weren't even there, him and his old buddy the sheriff still couldn't let it slide. They just could not seem to grasp that they were dealing with someone completely out of their league. Rambo is an expert in combat, tactics, survivability, you name it, because when the time comes for a fight, I wouldn't want to get in his way. Art, Will and the rest of the other deputies soon figured that out again after chasing him into the woods, his territory, but still they persisted on. Credit for that, because against those odds you really should have backed off. But it was more because of their damaged pride than anything else that kept them going. Only one out of all of the cops seemed to realise maybe going after Rambo in the way they were might not be the brightest idea. Like he said, he just went through every one of them in that cell block with ease, so now out on his turf, not a chance it would be any easier. Didn't save Art from meeting his fate, mind you, but that was his stupidity and recklessness that ended his own life. Yes, Rambo threw the stone that wobbled the chopper, but mate, come on, you deserve that outcome. And then enter one of the highlights of the entire franchise. Rambo in his element is unlike anything else you will ever see. A complete and total warrior. A phantom if need be. If he didn't want to be seen, he would blend in with anything he could find around him. First time watching, there is no way you saw him down there in that mud and grass. I sure as hell didn't, as our eyes were fixed on that deputy. And he just kept on going. One after one, trap after trap, he made it look so easy. And again, he let the sheriff go and gave him another chance to concede. Wasn't having it like, and it made him dig his heels in further. Then in came Richard Crenna's Colonel Samuel Troutman to help bring Rambo in. He was in two minds of how to deal with the situation. The police and the deputies had clearly antagonised Rambo into action, but blame was to be found on both sides of the line. By this time, the state police and other law enforcement had been brought in to help contain the situation. Rambo had to scratch, claw and fight his way out of a few very tight situations, but after evading the 100+ people on his tail, he made his way once more back to the town of Hope. Determination and stubbornness, two factors which Will had in abundance, but thankfully for us, it was still not enough to stop the one-man army that was John J. Rambo. After wounding the man who put him on that warpath, Rambo stood over the downed sheriff, and before deciding whether or not to pull the trigger, Troutman was there to help guide his friend in his troubling time. I'll speak again on the ending in a moment or so, but seeing Rambo break down like that was hard to see. Him reliving his nightmares day after day in his mind was giving not just Troutman but me a wobbly lip. It was an exceptionally well done ending, and one that stamped down a firm marker that Rambo, the legend, the war hero, will always be remembered.
I could have killed them all. I could have killed you.
My overall verdict for Rambo First Blood is a 9 out of 10. This is the best Rambo film, a classic in its own right. First Blood stands atop the mountain in this franchise, and in more ways than one. I love all of the films in very different ways, but this just works beautifully as a story. A battle-hardened war veteran returning home, having to deal with his past memories haunting him, and now having to deal with more bullshit from the locals and sheriff who are standing in his way. It's something that as a viewer you can stand behind and root for. You want Rambo to overcome the odds, fight back against the harsh authority, and when he does just that, you can't help but smile and watch. Some people seem to underestimate him, but Sly is an incredibly talented actor. You want proof? Look no further than that ending. Him breaking down and passionately voicing his thoughts to the Colonel is arguably one of Sly's best scenes in any of his films in his entire career. The writing and dialogue is tremendous, and he nails it 100% to add more to the Rambo character than just the badass soldier we've been watching this whole time. As for Crenna, he really is the moral compass for this franchise. I couldn't picture anyone else in the role, he just pulls it off perfectly for me. There for Rambo when he needs a shoulder to lean on, and there for some stern fatherly advice. These two kick some serious ass together when they are on screen together, but praise should go forth also to our resident sheriff, who in fairness played his part impeccably. He's a prick. From scene 1 with Rambo, you want him to get his just desserts. He should be aware that in some form Rambo is an animal, and an animal is at its most dangerous when it is wounded. But the guy can't take a hint, and to see him get his just desserts at every point in the film makes him surviving it all the better. Live with the fact that you were beaten time and time again by the better man. Ha! Now, on the topic of kills, we only got one death in the film in Art when he fell out of that chopper. Yes, the two cops in that car were a little suspect, but let's write that one off for some heavy bruising and a few scars. It was the other car that exploded, mind you, so overall kill count for Rambo First Blood, 1. And as I begin to wrap things up, I cannot forget to mention the music, which is synonymous with this franchise. It's a Long Road is one of those tunes which always makes my hair stand on its end. This is something that makes a good film great, but in this case makes a great film even better. It suits the Rambo character to the core, and with the fact that we have 3 other sequels to come next, it's a safe bet to say that this won't be the last time you will be hearing that sound. So what did you all think of the very first Rambo film in First Blood? Do you think it holds its own nowadays like I do? And though there are many to pick from, what is your favourite Stallone film? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
You've done enough damage. This mission is over, Rambo. Do you understand me? This mission is over.